Honorable Men Discord. Jealousy for Club Shay Shay. Let's talk about it. So what's going on out there with the hate for Club Shay Shay? This is a perfect example. I hope the young folks out there that's watching this episode understand that jealousy doesn't end in junior high school. It doesn't end in high school. You could be grown adults displaying signs of jealousy. Now, if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But at least with one of my clips, I have the person admitting that they were jealous. Now, they could write it off as they were just being funny, but they actually said they were jealous, and that's why they did what they did. But Club Shay Shay, ever since Club Shay took off, and I'm not sure if Shannon Sharp had Club Shay Shay while he was on the Undisputed with Skip Bayless. But in any event, once he was pretty much canceled off of that show, Club Shay Shay skyrocketed because he put all his attention into Club Shay Shay and, of course, that infamous interview with Cat Williams. Now, that is a very important interview, not only just because it went viral, but because of that interview, Shannon Sharp somewhat made enemies because of it. He made enemies from competitive podcasts that felt like, oh, how does this guy make those type of numbers from an interview? Who is this guy who has a background in football and was on Undisputed? How was he able to make that type of numbers from a podcast that he just relatively started? So it was very impressive, which is why, as you can see to the side of me, he was acknowledged by the NAACP for his work. He's labeled as a titan on the mic, right? Um, it's just one of those things where here's my issue with what I've seen on the internet about Shannon Sharp. Yes, Shannon Sharp has worn some questionable outfits that for his size maybe he shouldn't be wearing, but he's a grown man and it's his choice. Now, no one's above getting roasted. We know that for a fact. It doesn't matter who you are. Michael Jordan was roasted when he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. We know that meme has gone on for a long time, up until when he had the speech at Kobe Bryant's memorial, when he himself brought it up, that there may be another meme because he found himself in a position where he felt like he was gonna cry. But so let me just put that out there. No one is no one could avoid being roasted. No one's immune from being uh, roasted, and that's just the situation here. But my issue with black people is that we tend to easily tear each other down at the any opportunity we get. We're tearing each other down, and the reason why I have to point this out is because I know, and if this occurs, by all means correct me in the comments, but I don't see white people going on other white people's shows, or better yet, I don't see white people going on a black person's show to talk down a white person's show. That never happens, right? And I also don't see white people in the podcast world, going after each other. Now, it may happen in some small sectors. Like I've seen Andrew Tate at one point, he was going at somebody, another white male in the podcast world. As a matter of fact, let me see. I just remember one incident with Andrew Tate. But for the most part, I want to say black people, we do this too often, and I just feel like a lot of these things could be done off camera, or if you just don't like the person's show, you just don't have to go in it. Why do we feel the need to publicize that we don't want to support another black person's show? Why do we have to publicize that? And we're talking about people that are well past their 40s. All right. We're not even talking about people in their 20s. We're talking about people well past their 40s, in their 50s, right? 50s and 60s, or soon to be 60s if I'm mistaken. But I just don't understand why we feel the need to do this. Um, so ever since the Cat Williams interview on Club Shay Shay, it rubbed people the wrong way. Now, keep in mind, Cat Williams is responsible for what Cat Williams says. Now, were there times where Shannon Sharp maybe asked questions to open up the floor, open up the door for Cat Williams to say what he said? I'm sure there was opportunity for Cat Williams to speak on certain things based on the questions asked by Shannon Sharp. But here's the thing, as a grown man, you don't have to answer it. All right. And at the end of the day, that's your job. And I'm speaking about Shannon Sharp as an interviewer, to ask questions that may be controversial or uncomfortable, because that's just the nature of what interviewers do on shows. And again, you as the guest have the right to say, I don't want to speak on that. But don't get upset at Shannon Sharp for doing his job. That's his show. He can do what he wants. He can ask the question he wants. Even before they hit record, whilst filming the show, I'm pretty sure guests can say to Shannon Sharp, listen, I don't want to discuss this, this, this. Anything else, I'm all open to discussing. That's usually the format even on daytime television, right? So I say that to say this. I don't understand why we as black people, at the drop of the dime, can't wait to tear another black person's creation down, whether it's music, whether it's business. Why do we feel the need to publicly go to war all the time? Like we just can't see somebody else succeeding. It just bothers us. So it wasn't so much just about Cat Williams and what he had to say about other comedians, because those comedians should be upset with Cat Williams, not the platform that Cat Williams was on. Because even Cat Williams, at the beginning of the interview, and I remember him saying this, he said he chose to go to Club Shay Shay because he likes what he saw him doing. He likes the platform and how it feels, how it feels just organic. He even went as far as saying he doesn't normally do a lot of interviews for that reason, because he doesn't just want to sit down with anybody and talk, but he felt comfortable speaking with Shannon Sharp. So it was because of how comfortable he felt, he decided to speak on the stuff that he spoke on, which happened to be about other comedians. But don't go blaming Shannon Sharp for that. And then when Shannon Sharp breaks records on the internet for the interview, don't get salty and hate on him. I just don't understand this stuff. I say it time and time again, there's plenty of money out there for all of us. We're fighting over stuff that we're not going to take with us to the grave. It's just ridiculous. And you would think in our grown age we would learn this sentiment, but we some of us don't seem to get it. All right. So let me just go into some of this stuff that I have saved up. So I'm going to first go into Mike Epps. Okay. Now, Mike Epps, at some point in time, wanted to go on Club Shay Shay, right? And he, I guess, he DM'd Shannon Sharp to be on Club Shay Shay. And for whatever reason, it didn't pan out. But Mike Epps spoke on the fact that he wanted to go on Club Shay Shay because I guess his name was mentioned in the Cat Williams interview, right? But for whatever reason, that didn't pan out. And then Mike Epps, as a comedian, took to the stage and had some unfavorable things to say about Shannon Sharp. And ever since then, the two, both Shannon Sharp and Mike Epps, they don't like each other. But here's a clip from Mike Epps actually admitting that he was jealous of the Cat Williams interview. Let's take a look at this.
All right, I did get a little jealous, man. Cat broke the internet and didn't say my name, good or bad. I need the press too, nigga. Shit. Say something about me in there, man. Say something bad about me. I don't care. I got a special coming out. I need the press. Man, we did a movie together. Damn. It's fucked up, man. He just should have wore something different. That's all. That little hat that nigga had on, and that fake Fendi jacket. That's my nigga, though. That's my nigga. That's my nigga. All right.
All right, so that was Mike Epps speaking on Cat Williams. Obviously, right after the Cat Williams interview on Club Shay Shay, everyone was buzzing about it. You know, it was buzz. There was a big, huge buzz behind it, and he's admitting, listen, he was a little jealous about it because he's feeling like, man, Cat Williams could have mentioned me. You know, plug me in. You know. So of course, after Cat Williams was on Club Shay Shay, I'm pretty sure a lot of people wanted to be on Club Shay also, Club Shay Shay also. But aside from that, again, what I think happened is some of those comedians that had relationships with the comedians that Cat Williams spoke about, like Steve Harvey, those people that have relationships with Steve Harvey probably felt like, you know what, I can't support Club Shay Shay because it's going to offend Steve Harvey. Because Steve Harvey's going to look at it like he's probably feeling like he's betrayed because, oh, Cat Williams spoke about me in a unfavorable fashion, and then if you're a friend of mine, you should boycott Club Shay Shay, right? I can only assume that's what's going on in the world of comedy. Now, I could understand those. I could understand why someone who's friends with Steve Harvey wouldn't go on Club Shay Shay. But again, as black people, why do we feel the need to go on other platforms and say, I'm not going to Club Shay Shay, or, you know, speak down on his platform? If you're not going to support it, just don't support it. Why can't we not support other black people for whatever our reasons are in silence? Why do we have to publicly go and campaign against somebody else's platform? Why? That's the question I have. If anyone has the answer for that, please, by all means, explain that to me in the comments. But let me continue. So that was Mike Epps admitting that he was jealous, and he's trying to make light of it, act like he's being, funny. But there's some truth behind that humor, right? But one thing I'll say about comedians is comedians are always looking for material. So to get upset over Mike Epps and his comments and jokes, you got to take it with a grain of salt. I know it's easier said than done if it's not directed towards you, but this is what comedians do, all right? So let's move right along, right? All right, so this is the actual stand-up in which Mike Epps took shots at Club Shay Shay. All right, so let's get into it.
That nigga Shannon Sharp called me trying to do an interview. I said, no, Medea, I ain't doing no interview. So you can sit across from me and look at my balls. I'm sitting down, nigga. Thought he was going to attack Cat, that nigga there. The nigga shit is called Shay Shay. The nigga's telling you. Put a wig on that nigga and tell me if that ain't motherfucking Medea's sister, nigga. They exposing every motherfucking body. They got TD Jakes fucked up. Now that's fucked up. All that money that nigga done got from God, they done came out on him.
So again, comics look for material like that to speak on. So I don't know if I'm gonna go as far as saying he's hating on Shannon Sharp, but what's your opinion on that? For all you viewers out there, what's your opinion on Mike Epps and his joke that he made just now? He's a comic, so that's in his lane. That's all I have to say to that, right? Here's Mike Epps doubling down on his comments during his stand-up routine.
And Shay Shay, you did look like Medea sitting there. You was looking zesty. I'm not saying you, but you was looking zesty. You look like Big Frida sitting there. You need to take them tight shirts off with the muscles. And that's it. And Shay.
All right. So now, once Mike Epps doubled down, now he caught the attention of Shannon Sharp, which he probably caught the attention from the stand-up. But he doubled down, so now Shannon Sharp is taking it personal, and here's Shannon Sharp's reply to that.
I've been seeing it in the chat. Y'all know who I'm talking about.
I don't know who you talking about, but I'm with you.
Nigga,
Say my name again, and I'm gonna release the DMs because you're lying.
Yeah.
You said I reached out to you to come on Club Shay Shay, and you a mofo lie. Now when I see you, I'm gonna see you. I'm gonna see if you about that.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if you want to say what you've been saying on trying to get some jokes because you got mad because Cat Williams did what he did. Now when I see you, I'm gonna see if you really about that.
Yeah, and when I see you,
No.
I'm
gonna see if him talking all that.
Yeah.
When he wore them tight ass leather pants, trying to be funny.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna see if you're about that.
Yeah.
Say my name again. Now
it's
be like Destiny's Child and talk about say my name, and I got something for your ass.
Okay.
All right. So the person in the background is Ocho Cinco. This is the Nightcap. That was a clip from Nightcap show. That's Shannon Sharp's secondary show podcast, Nightcap. So Shannon Sharp is upset. You know, one of the things that Mike Epps said about his stand-up routine is he didn't understand why Shannon Sharp was taking it so personal. He's like, listen, SNL, Saturday Night Live, also had skits imitating Shannon Sharp's interview with Cat Williams. And as a matter of fact, in that skit, they had a female playing Cat Williams. So, I mean, in Mike Epps' defense, if Shannon Sharp saw the SNL skit, it's like, how mad could you be upset? How upset can you be at Mike Epps when SNL, Saturday Night Live, imitated that interview and they had somebody playing Cat Williams that was a female? All right, Cat Williams should be very upset about that, having a female play him in a skit. But as a comedian, again, and I'm pretty sure Cat Williams understands. I don't know if I ever came across anything where Cat Williams was upset about that SNL skit. But again, Mike Epps is like, oh, why are you coming at me for? SNL made comedy skits about you. He's like, other people have made jokes about you. Why are you so aggressive towards me? You know, but again, he's a comic, so I'll just write that off as comedy. But I'm not Shannon Sharp, so I can't write that off for Shannon Sharp. If he feels bothered by it, he feels bothered by it. You can't tell him how to feel. All right. But now moving on to another person who seems to not like Club Shay Shay. Well, not seems to. He's made it public. He's not a fan of Club Shay Shay. This is D.L. Hughley. And D.L. Hughley, before I play this clip, he's a very interesting person. He's very intelligent. You know, as I mentioned before on previous episodes, a lot of these comedians are very intelligent. You know, beyond making jokes, they're actually intelligent men and women, right? But D.L. Hughley is a very interesting individual to me because I'm pretty sure he is friends with Steve Harvey. That might be one of the reasons why he didn't want to do Club Shay Shay. I mean, he did do the Kings of Comedy series, well, stand-up show, I want to say, that was on DVD many years ago. And that was with Steve Harvey, Bernie Mac, and I'm trying to think of the other comedian that was on there. It just I can't think of it right at this moment, but D.L. Hughley was part of the Kings of Comedy along with Steve Harvey. So, you know, I'm pretty sure that's partially why he wouldn't do Club Shay Shay, but in this clip I'm about to play, he explains that he would have done Club Shay Shay, but he feels like Club Shay Shay is a real messy podcast, which here's where I have an issue with D.L. Hughley. I tried to look up how many times D.L. Hughley has been on Vlad TV, and I could not find that number. But I know for certain D.L. Hughley has been on Vlad TV at least more than 5 times. And why am I bringing up DJ Vlad? I'm bringing up DJ Vlad because if you're going to be calling Club Shay Shay messy, you absolutely have to call DJ Vlad messy. And this is a perfect example of what I said earlier. It's only us, and when I'm saying us, I'm talking about black people, that will talk down on a black guy's podcast on a white guy's podcast. And you can say, oh, you're making it racial. I'm pointing out what we do all the time. So if you want to say I'm making it racial, fine, I'm making it racial. I'm just pointing out what we do all the time. All right? Because you don't see a white person going on a black person's podcast to talk down a white person's podcast. It just doesn't happen. We are so divided, it's just disgusting. Again, I'm not saying just because someone is a black businessman, they're a black, they have a black podcast or whatever it is, that you have to like what they put out because they're black. I mean, in a perfect world, you would support them because they're black. But what I'm trying to say is, why must we go public and go on different platforms speaking down on a black person's business? Because even though it's a podcast, it's a business for Club Shay Shay. All right, it's a business. But here's DL Hughley talking about why he chooses not to do Club Shay Shay. He's on Big Boys in the Neighborhood. This is a radio show in L.A. Big Boys Neighborhood, right? Speaking on the fact that he wouldn't do Club Shay Shay because it's messy. But then you jump on Vlad TV, which everyone knows who's been following Vlad TV. Vlad TV is a podcast that pretty much, and Vlad is gonna not like what I'm about to say, and he's probably the type of person that if my channel was big enough, he would try to cancel this video for me saying this. But Vlad single-handedly at times seems like he tries to line people up and get them jammed up with the questions he asked them. Vlad is all the way messy, in my opinion. All the way messy. Unfortunately, he interviews a lot of people that I'd like to hear from, so at times I do play his content, but he's absolutely messy, you know? And again, for you to publicly speak down on Club Shay Shay, and I'm talking about DL Hughley, for you to speak down on Club Shay Shay about it being messy, I mean, let's be honest. You go to Vlad all the time, and Vlad is messy. Vlad exploits. He exploits rap artists that are in the streets, and just, you know, his claim to fame is pretty much the majority of the people that he interviews outside of like a DL Hughley or who's the other person that he has on there often, Michael Jai White, the martial artist / actor. He likes to have people on his channel that have, for lack of a better way of expressing it, like hood stories. He wants to hear the violence in the black community, and that's what that's his bread and butter. That's how he makes his name. Similar to No Jumper. That's another podcast, but then we go and support that also. All right, you got Whack 100 on there all the time. He's like a co-host for some of the episodes. But these are platforms that exploit us. All right. So before you go on someone else's podcast talking about Shannon Sharpe is messy, look yourself in the mirror and be honest. But this is the clip from D.L. Hughley speaking on that on Big Boys Neighborhood.
Initially, I was going to do it, and it kept my schedule. It just didn't work out, but I'm glad I didn't. I thought it got to be too messy, and I said it out loud. I think for a while, Club Shay Shay was like Wendy Williams with a weight set. Like, damn, this dude. I mean, it was messy. The reason that those people went on Club Shay Shay in its first iteration before it became successful, is because we saw what he did, and the reason I was going to go on it is because we saw what Skip did to him. I said any number of things about the way Skip sunned him.
Is that when he said, "Put your glasses back on"? Or
that
something
was
like that?
so horrible to me that I think a lot of people were determined to help this black man be successful because of what had happened to him, and to kind of curate all that have that place that they worked so hard for you to have, so you would have your own space, be just an amalgamation and curate all the bull that is happening in our community seemed insulting to me.
Right. And we're talking about, man, some of the same people that rallied around him to make sure
All
he was
of them.
good.
Listen, I'm going to wrap it up with this. I like D.L. Hughley. He's also an author because he's put out at least 2 books. I like D.L. Hughley. He's a smart guy. But he's guilty of cooning. DL Hughley is guilty of cooning. Okay? Because, again, he's always on Vlad TV. All right? And as a matter of fact, there was a clip that I tried to find to queue up where people have been coming at him for the fact that he's unapologetically on Vlad TV. And his response, he just basically brushes it off like, listen, I don't have to be on Club Shay Shay. That's not a good enough answer. That's not a good enough answer when you attack Club Shay Shay and its brand by saying it's messy. Now, again, all those guests that go on Club Shay Shay don't have to answer certain questions that they don't feel like answering. And as a guest and as an adult, aside from being a guest, as an adult, you could always say, listen, I don't feel comfortable answering that question because I feel like it's just going to set me up to be in a bad position with that person you're asking me about. You can do that. You could challenge the person who's asking the question. Or you could choose not to go on the show silently. Listen, I don't have to tear down anyone's brand if I don't like them. I just won't entertain them. I just won't be on their brand or on their platform. And that's it. But we're spending way too much energy, and I'm talking about we, meaning black people. We're spending way too much energy tearing each other down, fighting over coin that we can't be buried with. Well, we can be buried with it, but you know what I mean. We're not taking any of this with us. I will say this ever so often until it resonates with some of the people that's watching this. We're not taking any of this with us. Let's stop fighting over coin. And Shannon Sharp himself, he said it on one of his, he said it on, I believe, Nightcap with Ocho Cinco, when Ocho Cinco was having his back and forth with Cameron from It Is What It Is. Shannon Sharp was like, listen, he let Ocho Cinco speak, replying to Cameron, because Cameron had some disrespectful stuff to say about Ocho Cinco. Shannon Sharp sat there, let Ocho Cinco get it off his chest, and then he said, listen, at the end of the day, this is the last time I'm going to allow us to even speak on this because, you know, my time is precious and we have other things to talk about. You know, we have deals, future deals coming up, and this is small talk. And Shannon Sharp even went as far as saying, listen, you know, even if money ran out, they could print more money. And by him saying that, what he's trying to say is, what's the point of taking time out to talk about these petty arguments, these petty disputes? We as a people, we just can't get out of just small, low frequency issues. We're definitely not a team as a community. We're not a team. We know that much. We know we're not a team. We fake support from time to time. In February, Black History Month, Juneteenth, we fake support when someone is murdered by police. And that's not fake support. We actually support, but we come together sporadically. It's not consistent. It's never been consistent, you know, but we do a lot of cooning and we do a lot of public displays of tearing each other down. As a matter of fact, the recent Breakfast Club interview with Mike Epps, he kind of spoke on that, about how we operate as a people, right? If you haven't seen that Mike Epps Breakfast Club interview, I suggest you check that out. But I'm constantly shaking my head at our actions. And the craziest thing about all of this is, as much as I shake my head, I wouldn't have it any other way. If there was reincarnation, still bring me back black. Despite all of this that I'm saying, still bring me back black. Just don't bring me back during slavery. That's all I ask. But that's all I have to say on this topic. Appreciate everyone for tuning in. As always, like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next episode. Take care.